Welcome to Growth Hacking. It's the first Chime online event.
It's going to be my biggest online event I have ever been to.
Oh, nice, bro. Well, get used to it because the next one's going to be even bigger.
Okay.
All right. So we're seeing people from all over the country. We should probably see a few from Europe as well. I know we have a good following in Portugal and Spain. And the Philippines. There you go.
Yeah, I just saw Philippines.
Nice. All right. As you're tuning in, we've got my co-host for the morning, Jay Steinbeck. What's up, Jay?
Good to see you, Tristan. How you been, sir?
Good, man. Out of snowy St. Louis.
It's 2 degrees right now, snowing like crazy. And I'm we had to have matching t-shirts is what I was told by Aubrey. So, but you're in Malibu. It's a lot warmer there. And certainly the real estate markets are cruising with you, where they take a nice little hiatus for a few days with us.
That makes sense. And for those of you tuning in, we've got Joe Chen, the CEO of Chime, but he's got an amazing background. I'm not going to read all of your accolades, Joe, because I'd be here like for an hour.
Boring.
All right. The important part is that you've been doing this for a long time. In China, you were very integral in starting a social network of its own, which is pretty cool. I don't think anybody knows that. But do me a favor, if you're tuning in now, just Google Joe Chen, and you're going to see all of his accolades. He's an amazing human being, good person, and he's extremely smart. Joe, welcome to the morning part of the show, buddy.
Thanks, Tristan. That's some very flattering words. It's hard to live up to your expectation. You know, you're setting up for failure in terms of expectation. but it's really a pleasure to participate in your wonderful online conference here. I told you earlier, this is the biggest online webinar I have been to. And I don't give presentations that much in the past 2 years, but because you a wonderful topic, and because you are, growth hacking is in my heart. I always being a growth hacker in terms of growing different technology businesses, and also LabCo Aging. You guys have been such a wonderful partnership, so I can't wait to join. And so today I'm going to share a little bit of some of the relative less boring and the fun stuff. I hope it's fun stuff. Basically a group exercise or a management team has done to crystallize our company vision and the mission. And we came up with some really interesting way to look at it, and look at, the business we're in, and also looking at, the current status of real estate agent, work lifestyle, and what kind of environment they're in. And we're trying to going from the most fundamental way of looking at how they work, how they compete, and from there to arrive or what company vision and mission. So let me share my screen here.
All right, do it.
Yeah, get right into it. Hey, why
already?
Why take any time here? Let's just do it.
Okay,
Joe's ready to go. He's caffeinated. We're on it.
So Chime, maybe I should talk a little bit about Chime, the history of Chime, and I think it's better to go over this page here. It's really Chime's all about innovation and technology, and this basically shows the past 5 years of technology roadmap that we had gone through. So we launched, I think, in 2016. And first year was really just making up the technology that we had, because, we came in late. Other companies being around 5 to 10 years ahead of us. So we spent 1 year making up the technology debt, and starting from there, we're starting to providing industry-leading features and the innovations, such as the first, maybe one of the first dialers, in-house dialer in 2017. And we launched AI chatbot in 2019. And when COVID hit, we were the first company to launch live streaming to assist agent closing deals virtually. And fast forward to last year and this year, the pace of innovation just quickens. We launched the Enterprise Edition. We launched the CMA just like 1 month later. And starting from this year, we started a broker recruitment feature. which is, you know, I'm sure a lot of you would appreciate. And in a week or two, we're gonna launch your a team calendar, design center, all that stuff. So you're probably gonna see one major innovative feature rolling out, you know, every 1 or 2 months, right? That's the pace we've been riding out past few years, and it's reasonable to believe that's going to happen, continue to happen. But this is not what we're going to talk about. Boring you with all the features. I'm going to tell some stories that hopefully you will like. Okay. And that came from our exercise, which is trying to search for that company vision and the mission. And we realize our company vision and mission really lies with our customer base, right? So we need to think about, you know, how our customers nowadays are living their working life, and we're starting asking questions: what is the life like for Asian these days? Is it getting better or worse? I mean, worse is not really the right way for it, but what kind of pressure points they're facing these days? Will it continue? Will that pressure points continue to exist? I mean, I remember like my recent went to a conference with particular large brokerage, and one of the customers was telling me, you know, sharing the war story where, you know, another Asian group brokerage, you know, was lowering the commissions just to compete on the listing business, so on and so forth. So I hear a lot of war stories from our customer base, and I just realized, oh my gosh, those type of stories will just keep on surfacing, and then what can we do to help them, right? And what options are available to agents looking to survive and or thrive, right? What additional help they can get. So in order to come to those answers, or providing a framework to think about answers for those questions, we came up with an interesting analogy and a comparison to a very, very old industry, which is the hunting industry.
I've never thought of that as an industry. So there we go.
Back then, the most talented people work in that industry because they provided the brand, and they provided the butter, and the folks who stayed home, they provided the bread, right? But the butter is really what matters the most, right? To sail through a very cold winter, right? So we look at that industry. You know, really, ever since human beings existed on Earth, we kind of got, you know, that relationship with this or environment. We hunt, and in the beginning, you can imagine it's quite easy because there's not that many human beings on Earth, right? I remember, like, according to scientists, there were only 2,000 of us that came out of Africa back in 70,000 years ago. So imagine there's only 2,000 people, Homo sapiens, living on Earth. And you look around, there's rabbits, there's a pig, there's, you know, all these animals running around with no intimidation of human. They haven't seen a human before. They thought that we're friendly, but we go out there and we just kill them for their meat, right? So in the beginning, it's really easy, right? Really easy.
This is the greatest start to any technology presentation ever, Joe. I can't wait to see where this goes from here.
Yeah, where it goes is going to be interesting, right? So we became more successful because we put so much bread and butter on the table. What happened? More babies, right? So the human society starts to mushroom. Right. I mean, and then that means like more competition, right? More competition, like, you know, all the low-hanging fruits being picked, right? The rabbits has been hunted down, you know, the pigs wild hogs being hunted down. What's left are the bigger, harder to kill animals. And in order to hunt them down, you just have to work harder, right? You have to work harder. So that kind of reminds me the real estate agency in the, you know, 50 years ago, something like that. In the beginning, it was easy. That was 100 years ago. But 50 years ago, it got a little tougher, but, you know, still very, very, you know, there's not many people doing it, so it's still fine. And then this process just keep on going, right? And to the point where, you know, you see a picture here, this is Ice Age. Before Mama went extinct. Now you have a group of humans, hunters. They have different tools in the hand, right? I mean, they're hunting, trying to hunt down this mama with group of people going after it with different tools, fires, stones and spears and, arrows, everything, right? Collaboration, everything. So this reminds me very similar to the modern residential real estate agency work, because it just requires advanced tools. It requires collaboration, and it requires many people working together, not just like a single person going out, picking up a stone and kill that, little horse right next, kind of eating the grass right next to you, right? Harmlessly. That's the kind of analogy we were using. And think about this hunting industry. We said there's a lot of synergies. There's a lot of similarities between, the real estate. So what do we get out of it, right? So this is a picture here I want to share, which is pretty funny too, especially look at that two people staring at each other with little brain size. But let's focus on the first one. As life gets tougher, hunting, like the tools more tools are invented, right? Because you look at all the hunting of all the stone tools that's being excavated in the past, few hundred years, according to archaeologists, right? These tools is becoming more sophisticated, right? Because in the beginning, the hunting was easy. You just need a very, very small stone tools and cutting tools. But as the animals gets bigger, like mama, you need a big cutting tools, you need spears, everything, right? So the sophistication, of these tools very much reminds us the advance of technology in the past 100 years, right? I mean, the first telephone set is so gigantic, right? It's like embarrassing to carry around. But now everybody has an iPhone that has 1,000 times more processing power at an effective cost of 1% of the first telephone, right? So the tools just gets better. And the other aspect is that the hunters have become smarter, right? Because you compete and you have to become smarter every generation. And I read somewhere some scientific paper saying the human brain size has increased 4 to 5 times in the past 1 million or 2 years. So our human species have become much smarter, but nowadays we need AI because because we're going to grow our brain size slowly, right? You can't just become like a gigantic big head in like one generation. It's probably take like tens of thousands of years, but you can use the AI and enhance your processing power to allow you to do many things at the same time. Parallel processing, making better decisions, so on and so forth, right? So the key was here tools and AI, right? And another takeaway, which is not very apparent, but you will be, those of you working for agent teams, you realize that. So the other takeaway is that you need more collaboration to accomplish more difficult and more complex tasks, which is what a modern, real estate transaction is, right? So many loose ends, mortgages, insurance, everything, right? Inspection, everything. So basically, after thinking through that analogy, that hunting industry, we thought, okay, really, what the modern agent, the kind of help they get are really just two kinds, right? The human kind and the non-human kind. Right. This is kind of a lazy way to classify the kind of help, anything, the human, non-human, right? So the non-human kind of help you can get is really technology. I think is one of it, right? Technology, the aging tools, that's our core business, Chime, preferably a tool with AI capabilities so that it's not just powerful, but it not just save your time, but also makes your kind of enlarge your brain, increase your processing power. But the other kind of help that I think the industry is not currently getting a lot of it, but they're getting a lot of offline, but they're not getting a lot of that online, right? Which I think is the kind of help from a human or a group of humans, such, for example, coaching from a coach, right? Mentor, broker, learning from peers, collaborating with a group of peers, a community of agents collaborating, facilitating a deal, so on and so forth, right? So that's another part of it, right? So once we think through that, the human and non-human elements of the kind of help our customers needs, and our vision became pretty clear, which is, right, our vision is like, the technology and The technology, you can think of it as the ice age, right? It's kind of the external environment that kind of makes competition more intense, right? That's out of your control, right? But you have to adapt to that. Technology makes the real estate business progressively more competitive, and also more agents entering into business because there's more hunters because our population grow, right? More hunters needs to join that business, right? And the agents needs better tools, knowledge, and collaboration with other agents to thrive in this new environment. Therefore, our mission is to build and provide the best AI-empowered tools I highlighted here, and the most engaging professional learning collaboration platform for every real estate professionals in the world, hopefully, to help them prosper in the tech-enhanced, hyper-competitive world. So we envision ourselves as if we opened for business half a million years ago, we'll be making these stone tools, right, for the hunters. And then we'll be developing some kind of, prehistoric walkie-talkies, right, for the hunters to talk to each other, coordinating the attack on the mammoth, right? So that we think that's our business. We're really in the business of providing the infrastructure, technology, AI-enhanced infrastructure, be a tool, be an online platform, to really help our customers to be more competitive, more productive, and because this business, despite the intensive competition, this business just keep on growing. I mean, the population is still growing at the U.S. Unlike in many parts of China. I mean, we should feel any part of the world, such as China, Japan, and South Korea, population is coming down, right? You don't want to be a real estate agent over there in those countries. You want to be in a country that's still growing in population. Therefore, the demand is increasing, and there's a limited supply of land too, right? So the price is going up. Each transaction become more expensive, which is great for us, for this industry. So anyway, I don't want to spend too much of your time. My time is up. I think I was given 15 minutes. I think it's just time to close. And I think the final thought is that we're so happy to be in partnership with your wonderful organization, Tristan, Jay. Your LabCo agent community is an integral part of ecosystem. We strive with you guys. Hopefully you strive with us. And we're really happy to meet so many customers and potential partners. And it's my pleasure to tell this little fairy tale to you so that to give you some thoughts for your amusement for today.
I loved it, man. Jay, what do you think about, because I don't think we ever get this perspective.
No,
What do you think of this? Joe, you mentioned something where you actually compared our opportunities that we have here as real estate agents versus the opportunities we have in other countries. And I don't think we ever put that in perspective. And I thought, wow, that's interesting. I love it.
No, I think there was a few key points that you hit on there, and again, I've never compared real estate to prehistoric times, so this was a new one for me. But now that we've gotten through it, I really understand the crux of what you're getting at. We can't do this alone. We have to have collaboration. We have to have the proper tools, and to get out of that prehistoric age and really come to like, what's the best way to manage this? What are the best tools and what are the best resources? It's not going to matter if we're all siloed off into little bitty sections trying to do this alone, unless we can come together and build these together, which is what you're doing right here, AI empowered. We have to get rid of some of these really basic low hanging fruit things that we're just doing over and over, repetitive. It's that, highly urgent, but low important stuff that just takes up our time. And I really, like I said, it's a fabulous, comparison to what we're doing today and how to achieve it. But Tristan, to your point, yes, the United States and a lot of the, kind of North America, I mean, the opportunities we have, the churn that we're dealing with right now is amazing compared to the rest of the world.
Yeah, very true. And Joe, one thing that I love is that you guys are always progressing. And I don't think that the industry that we're in is going to leave you guys behind, because you're leading the way. I also see that, Joe, you probably have this hidden somewhere, but I bet you're already thinking of how Chime can be in the metaverse.
That definitely that's on the back of my mind. I don't have a plan yet, but if that become a true technology wave, you're for sure we're gonna be swimming in it.
Jay, I'll be like, hold on, let me get into Chime metaverse, and then I can call this person and this person, and
we can get that built out by next week for you. No problem. That's what we do.
Joe, thanks for joining us, buddy. Appreciate you. Thank you for creating Chime and putting so much love into it.
Thank you for allowing us to be part of your community.
Thanks for being on, buddy.
Join
We appreciate
you
you
guys, next time.
Thank you, Joe. Buddy. Fabulous, sir.